into them. They was like, you can go to college if you want to, but it's not necessary to have a college degree for real estate. And another thing that factored was money. I knew I wasn't financially stable. I didn't want to put myself into debt. So I was like, if I do go to college, it's going to be on my terms. It's going to be when I have the money for that.
Welcome back to Stay Dome the Podcast Live. I'm Alexandria. Be sure to follow the podcast on Spotify, iHeart, Apple, and wherever else you can find podcasts. We're also on YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel, y'all, so make sure you check out that content. I'm so excited. And y'all gonna see a recap from my trip to Dallas and all that good stuff. So that's beside the point. Today, I am sitting down with two lovely ladies, and they are actually cousins. They're 1 year apart, and they have chosen to go in two different life directions. Gabrielle graduated from high school in 2022 and chose to remain in her hometown, attend college part-time, and work full-time. Deiara recently graduated from high school this year and has chosen the route to work and soon take real estate classes in the fall, opting out of the traditional higher education route. So, thank you, ladies, for joining me. Thank you for joining me on the podcast.
Thank you for having
us. Yes, I'm excited. So, you already know, we kind of already talked about it, but I really wanted to get into this conversation of discussing teenage life after pandemic. I mean, I've read so much research and different statistics around students not going to college, and I'm like, why aren't they going? Especially with Dear, I'm like, why aren't you going to college? You know? But I think it's something to be said because there's, like I said, there's so much data around students not going, and I really wanted to hear from you all. Of course, I did want some guys on this panel, but that's okay. We're going to get the girls' perspective. So I want y'all to talk about the pandemic, but we're going to kind of walk it back before we get into right now. Okay. I want to walk it back some. 2020 almost took us out.
Yeah.
Almost took us out. Thank God it didn't. We survived. Yeah. Yes. But, you know, like I said, we're just seeing a different impact. So let's walk it back. March 2020, when the world shut down. I think, dear, you were in the 9th grade at that time.
Yes.
Tell us, how did you feel during those moments? Like, who were you prior to March of 2020?
Prior to March 2020, I was in the 9th grade. I just started high school, so I was very new to the world. Middle school, I was kind of sheltered by my mom. I didn't do much. I just probably went to a couple of basketball games, so that was pretty much it. So high school, I decided that I wanted to go to football games. I wanted to experience my first pink out. That was benefiting cancer patients. Oh. I wanted to attend spring fever and homecoming and everything like that as far as activities towards high school. But one day, my mom was like, "You're not going to school tomorrow." It was a Thursday. And I said, "Well, why not?" She said, it's a deadly virus, and I just want to make sure you're safe. Okay. I wake up the very next day. School shut down. The whole world shut down. Mm-hmm. Matter of 24 hours, it's shut down. And I was like, dang, okay. So we got an email from our teachers, "Hey, we'll see y'all in 2 weeks." That's fine. So I was at home watching TV, binge watching shows with my siblings, and the 2 weeks passed. I did not return back to school. We did everything online, Google Classroom, Zoom meetings, talking to our teachers, finishing up our work. And I feel like it did change my life because I was supposed to be out. I was supposed to be experiencing being out with friends, enjoying high school as a 9th grader, and I couldn't do that. Okay. So it definitely shifted from where I am today as a high school graduate.
Yeah. So what about you, Gabby? Who were you prior to the pandemic? Were you like this outgoing person? Because you would have been in 10th grade at that point.
Yeah. I think the person I was like, I was quiet. I already didn't talk to a lot of people in school. Going to school every day, I was always by myself with my headphones in, blocking everybody else out. But all I knew, I walk in the hallways and everybody got their jackets covered over their mouth and nobody's touching each other like they normally do, wrestling. Everybody had to evacuate the building because of COVID. So then I believe when COVID, like officially everything happened, I didn't know nothing about it. I got home like, look, we shutting down the house. Everybody If you're sick, stay in one spot, don't move. We got sprayed down with Lysol and masks everywhere. So I shut down from work as well because we had to shut down during the COVID. We couldn't come back until we had our shots, and I wasn't getting no COVID shot.
So wait, you were working in 10th grade?
Yeah, I
Where
was
were you
working
at?
McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
So I was working, and it was like, okay, well now I really don't have nothing to do because I don't go nowhere like to hang out or anything with friends or anything. And work was my only place I would go. So it's like now I'm really trapped in one area. So people will call me over the phone, but I barely answered. So it was different. Then we had to go to school and get computers to use at home because some people didn't have them. But it was the Zoom meetings in the morning. It was like, feel like the same thing just from your bed. You already don't talk to a lot of people there, and you already don't communicate there. But I think COVID was like, I was like, I'm not doing nothing. I didn't want to go to school at first. I didn't want to.
So it didn't bother you that the world shut down?
Not really, because it was like I already don't go nowhere. I already just stay in my own bubble at home. I don't really I didn't have a lot of friends or anything like that. But it was like being forced to be in one spot was different from choosing to be in one spot. So it was like, you mean to me I can't go nowhere? Like I can't walk outside, I'm gonna catch something. It was like, it was awful. And then I think like we stayed in the house for like 2 months, but not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Then finally it's like, okay, we gotta go to the store, re-up on stuff, and it was like everything was cleared out, stores was packed, so it's like we was really out of luck for real. But eventually I got through it, let me finish school and graduated. I think COVID, that's where I really lost my drive for everything else. But now that it's over, I can pick back up where I left off in a way.
Well, I mean, it sounds like from you, you were more introverted prior to COVID, so it didn't really have an effect. Now, Deiara, were you more introverted prior to COVID, or do you think you were like more of a social butterfly?
I definitely was more of a social butterfly. I walked the halls, I hugged people, talked to everybody, literally talked to everyone. Even if I didn't know them, hey, how are you? You never know if you can make somebody day. So I always wanted to do that in high school. And I remember like one of my friends, it was just us in the hallway. And I just ran to him and just like gave him a hug. And was like, hey, like, how are you? And then 10th grade came. I didn't go to school. And I was okay with that. I was like, I can stay in bed all day. Okay. So I stayed in bed all day. I did my Zoom. I did what I needed to do. But the lack of focus for school went down. My GPA went down. Grades went down. And it was just to the point I was like, I don't care. I was like, I still got 2 more years. I got this. So it was just, I had that mentality. It was like, it's fine. I'll be okay until I actually need to actually care. So it didn't really take a toll on me as far as school, but it took a toll on me as far as seeing my friends, because when the world shut down, nobody had my phone number. I didn't have social media. So only my cousin and 2 other friends could get a hold of me. And those are the only people I talk to outside of my immediate family.
Why is that?
I really don't like sharing my phone number. I'm not gonna, like, I don't like sharing my phone number.
Okay.
If I feel like I'm in an uncomfortable position, I'll give it out, just, to stay. But if I know you personally, I won't give you my number.
So you would give your number if you were in an uncomfortable situation,
Yes.
but not with somebody who.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
It makes sense to me, because it's like, if I know like you're just gonna keep asking for it, I'll give it to you, but I'm not gonna text you. I'm not gonna call you. Okay. Don't expect to text back. But for my friends, it was like, you know me, we don't need to talk. So I never gave out my number. Okay. But I didn't realize the effect that it would have during COVID, because I had no way of getting their phone numbers now. It was no way for me to get them. And I didn't want to ask my friends, who are only my friends and not theirs, say, hey, can you text this person on social media for me? Be like, can Deiara get your phone? I just felt like that was weird. So I talked to the same 3 people outside of my immediate family.
Okay, I guess if that makes sense. So, I mean, you were in 10th grade, you were in the 9th when COVID, when everything shut down. Mm-hmm. So as far as those social skills, I mean, do you think that affected it? Yeah. You know, how you socialize with people? I mean, you had a job though, so you did have to socialize with people, but.
I feel like when 10th grade year, that's when I was really starting to open up to meeting new people. Because 9th grade year, I was strictly like, no, you can't talk to me. No, I don't want you to sit by me. No, you can't be near me. So it was like things like that. And then it was like when COVID happened, I'm like, I just got to know this person. And now we not going to be around each other for like almost a whole year.
Yeah.
So it was different. It was like, but to me, it was like, oh, well, I just met you. We're not It's okay. We'll see each other next year.
But what if you wouldn't have seen them? Like they may have gotten COVID or something. I mean, we
Right.
didn't know.
Yeah.
We really didn't know. But
It was like
you just had that trust that you would see them someday.
Yeah, I'm gonna see you again. It's
Okay.
just not gonna be no time soon, but I'm gonna see you one of these days.
Okay. So, given the fact that you were a social butterfly and having to be at home, did that change you? How did it change you or affect you?
I feel like it affected me when it comes to big groups of people. I don't like being around big groups of people.
Is it because of COVID? Like you don't want to catch any germs or sickness?
I think COVID could tie into it, but I think it was more of being socially aware.
Okay.
You can't be socially aware if you're crowded with 10 people, and then it's 10 people around them, 10 people around them, and so on and so forth. So when I finally was able to get out the house, I only wanted to be around people that I felt comfortable with. If I knew we were going out, it's like, stay next to me, don't leave me. That was it. Like, I just didn't want to be left alone if I didn't know everybody else.
Okay.
So, because I like to talk, I like to venture off, I like to shake hands and meet people, but after COVID, it's like, I don't even know if you wash your hands after you leave the bathroom.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'm not going to do that. But it was like, hi, how are you? And then, it was just like, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do taking in a social setting with a lot of people. More than 20 people already freaks me out. So imagine if I'm back at high school and it was like 1,500 of us.
Oh, wow.
That would have freaked me out even more. Knowing that you only could see people from their eyes. You can't even make out their face. I don't know if you're smiling. I don't know if you're sad. I don't know if you want to speak to me, but you don't know who I am because all you could tell is my eyes. And yeah.
So when school did open back up, you were wearing masks?
Yeah, we had, at my school, we had groups. So it's like, okay, A group go and then B group go. It was weird because it was like they'll pick random handful of people. And we had masks. We had to go to the bathroom, wash our hands before going into another class or in between classes. So it was like, it was weird, but it wasn't. It was like, okay, well, it was still a lot of people, so I didn't feel like they was trying to be safe in a way, because like the desk was still closed. Still wasn't washing us down. They put sanitizer machines in our classroom. Nobody was using them. It was just like little stuff like it just didn't feel clean. Yeah, it was like we could have stayed in school if that was the case, if nothing was going to change cleaning wise. And y'all not cleaning the floors. Everything's still dirty from the last group we was just in. The classrooms are still nasty. The teachers sneezing in their hands. They don't wear their masks. So it's like,
Right.
they want us to wear our masks, but the teachers and security people weren't wearing theirs. So it's like, are you really trying to be safe? If you still are close and you can have COVID and give it to us, and then we can go home and we have siblings and parents, older parents, and they can catch it. They can get sick easily, especially if they're young kids, like toddlers, or we have older grandparents, anything to catch it. It's worse for them than it is probably us.
Yeah,
Definitely. They can really get sick, really.
I agree. You got anything to add?
Well, I was when school opened back up, I was still in 10th grade. So, COVID was still around, and most schools weren't open. And I didn't go back to school. I was still doing online school. So all of like my friends that I did talk to, they went back to school, and so they were just telling me their experience. Like the desks were apart. They had to wear masks. You had to be identified by a school ID. I think for the lunchroom, I think they had to package them. It was like it couldn't be hot and fresh anymore. And as far as money, like I don't think you could have gave money unless you had gloves on. You had to either have your ID or already have money prior in your bank into your school account.
Okay.
So that wasn't different for me. It wasn't until I went back to school my 11th grade year.
So what made you choose to stay home your 10th grade year?
My mom.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you
she
want
was
to
like,
go or?
no.
Okay.
So like when she was like, when school started back up, she was like, you don't have to go, and I was like, like, I get to sleep in. So like it wasn't different for me because like she was just like, she wasn't forcing me to. You need to go to school. It was like if you want to go, you can. But she also told me like you don't want to live in fear of not going back.
Okay.
So I was just like, yeah, I just want to sit this one out. She was like, okay. And then they also gave me the other option of going in 11th grade. But I was like, I'll go for my 11th grade year. And we went, masks weren't not required, like at all. Like we didn't have to wear them. I chose to wear mine, but we didn't have to. The protocols weren't really the same. All you had to do was wear your ID just in case you did wear a mask. It wasn't until somebody at school got COVID and it spread it to like 10 other people. That's when they started, you need to wear a mask. If you don't wear a mask, you have to leave school. You can't be here. IDs, hand sanitizer, spray, everything like that. If you go into the bathroom, make sure it's only you. Don't try to meet up with a friend. You never know. So it was like that probably for 2 months. And then we all stopped wearing masks again. Because it was like everybody done had it now. Like at this point, there's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah.
Well, good. I want to give this statistic. It was a small study supported by the National Institute of Mental Health, and it found that teen brains had aged about 3 years during only 10 months of the pandemic. What do y'all think about that? Y'all aged 3 years. So you was in 9th grade, what, like 14 at the time? So you was like 17.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's true. I feel like that's true.
You do?
You do?
Yeah, in a way. I just feel like when you just trapped in one space and all you got is your phone, your social media, things like that, it's like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just, you don't want to do anything anymore. Like, when school shut down for months, you lost your focus, you lost your outside world, and now you're just trapped in one bubble.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's different from school and from staying home for months and months and months. Like, all you have is your phone and nothing else, and the people around you. Like, eventually you get tired of them same people that's around you. It's like,
Agreed.
I need to get away from you for a little while.
So
But
what did you guys do in order to create balance for yourself? I mean, was there like, I'm gonna do some yoga today? I don't know if teenagers do yoga, but
it was more so laying in bed. That's all it was. It was
that
like,
was your relaxation?
that was it. It was nothing
Okay.
else.
Yeah.
It was like, you can't do nothing else. Can't go to work. Can't make money. Can't go to school. And if you had friends at the time, you can't socialize with your friends. Things like that. But it was like, it is what it is at this point. But I do feel like once the pandemic started, it was like, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to do anything. Because once you get a consistent routine of not going to school, you don't feel like going no more. Like, that whole thing just like drain out like all your drive to go to school, to go to college. Like, why can't I do that? And I could just lay in my bed all day.
So what about you? Do you feel like did you find any balance during that time, or how did you balance yourself? I mean, it's almost like being in prison and you like commit, what is it, like the solitary confinement almost?
I was
With
on
the
my phone, or I was just isolating myself in my room. I mean, I saw my siblings every day, so it's like, I don't need to be around you. So I'll go to my room and watch TV, and I'll be on TikTok. And that was the way I kept myself entertained. I don't like to work out. I like to eat. That's just, I like to eat. I don't like to work out. So working out, like, it was to a point I was like, let me do some yoga. It was like, nah, I couldn't do it.
No. I mean, did you like read? Like, was there any other
I
type
had
of
no
relaxation
books to
methods?
read. Like, I read all the books that I had. So it was just like, I had no books to read. The only thing that I felt like relaxing was listening to music. I turned away from hip hop and rap more to a contemporary R&B, some country music. It was just very calm. And so, like, instead of being like, ha, 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 it was more of like,
Yeah.
I'm just
breather.
calm.
Yeah.
A different pace of reality is going on. You know, before COVID, it was like, I'm outside. It's summertime. But then during COVID, it was like, what are you doing? What are you doing for yourself to help yourself? and by helping me stay sane, it was the music that just kept me there.
Okay.
So,
What was one of your favorite songs? For
one
the
of,
good people out there.
one of my favorite songs during COVID was Mimi in Amsterdam by the artist Rennie. I love all his music, literally. So that was my number one song. I would play it on the speakers, I would play it on the TV. In the morning when I was doing school online, that's what I was playing. If I wasn't watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, I was listening to that. Like mama opened the door at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was right there at the table listening to music, doing homework.
So I want to ask about like your friendships at the time. Were you guys all nervous? Like, were your friends nervous? Like, we don't know what's going on. I mean, was that fearful for you as far as your friendships went? Were you guys talking about COVID and everything like that, or just your experience?
My friends thought we were gonna die, but
Thought the world was ending.
I'm more at peace with death. Like I like death. I like talking about it. I like seeing it. Not more so like seeing a dead body necessarily, but I like talking about it. Okay. So when they were talking about death, I'm like, deuces, you know. So like, they were scared, but it was like me. I was like, we all die one day. If it's today, then it's today. It's nothing we can do about that. As long as you know you're at peace with yourself, you should be fine. Like, just be one with yourself. Yeah. And so, like, I started getting into, like, archangels, the actual angels. We're not people in heaven. Okay. You know, we're these mythical, wonderful creatures with 20 eyes and a mouth. Like, I like that. That excited me. So, when my friends used to talk about it, I tried to be emotionally there, but it was just like, dude, we gonna die. It's okay.
You got something to add to that?
It was like, you got any sins, you better get the sin right now. Okay, making it to them pearly white
Yes, it was like, just, you know, be prepared. Because if you're that scared of dying, what are you doing wrong in your life? Yeah. Get together. I'm serious. Like, you need to get together. Like, why are you so scared to die? It's natural.
It is natural.
Like, you could go to sleep and die. Like, you wouldn't know because you're dead. Yeah. So it's just like, it's a natural thing. Yeah. You know.
Well, I'm happy that you guys found peace in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that you can look at it that way. Yeah. Because some people can, and it sounds like some of your friends were a little nervous.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God, what if I don't see you again? I was like, then you just don't see me. Like, I wasn't going to do a what if scenario. Yeah. You just won't see me, you know? So, you know.
I definitely think you guys aged 3 years. I think I'm talking to like 20-year-olds right now, 20 plus. All right, so I want to give another statistic. So in your class of 2022, it said that you guys were more likely to go to work compared to students who graduated in 2019. Now, you shared, you know, off camera, shared that, what did you share? You shared that school was free, that college was free.
It was free.
So why do you think they decided to go to work if they had school, if you could go to college for free?
Like I said, when COVID started, everybody's drive went down. Like, with me, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not doing college. I did high school. That should be enough. I gave you my grandma. I gave you my diploma. What else do you want from me?
I did my time.
I did my time. But it's like another 4 years of school will probably drain a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But me, I feel like when I did online school, it was easier because I don't have to get up and go to school. I can just go to work, and on my break, I can do school. Mm-hmm. Or when I get out of work, I can do school. But I think what a lot of people, they was like, I just want to make money. And that's all they saw was money. But it's like when you get your diploma, when you graduate college and you done, you could get a better paying job at the end. But people wasn't thinking that far ahead. They was thinking about what they want to do now and how much money they want to make now. But it's like, you making money, what are you doing with it? If you're not saving it or investing in it or opening your own business or following your dreams, what are you doing with your money? You just playing with it. You dressing up and trying to look good, and it's like she said, we all gonna die one day. You can't take that stuff with you. You can't take none of that stuff with you. You can't take no money up there with you. It's just you. Mm-hmm. So it's like, at the end of the day, I feel like people should just do what they need to do for right now. But it's like, if you want to make money and you don't want to go to school, that's on you. But me personally, I feel like I have to go to school to not to prove a point, but to make myself feel good. Like, okay, I did this. I graduated high school and went straight into going to school, even though I didn't even have motivation to. So it was like, I might as well just get this out the way.
So do you think some of them wanted to make money? Do you think it was influenced by social media? Because I think a lot of times social media influences like, hey, I got this money, and we see a lot of fraud and scamming and stuff like that. So do you think your generation?
Social media changed what I wanted to be as far as career-wise.
Yeah.
What did you want to be initially?
I wanted to be an OBGYN. I wanted to go to college.
Okay.
I did. But then when COVID came, I was scrolling through TikTok, and it was like a whole bunch of real estate. And I'm like, oh.
So you were influenced by social media.
I was influenced by social media. I saw a whole bunch of real estate on my For You page, and I started following like all of them instantly. And I loved the fact how they could talk about the interior and the exterior of the homes. They talk about it's not even about the money; it's about just giving that person what they wanted, and you are able to provide that, and they thank you for that, or selling that home. So when I saw that, I was like, I want to be a real estate agent. Mama did not like that. But I was like, this is what I want. And I was like, I don't want to cut open people. I said, I want to sell homes.
Yeah.
So
I feel like
it definitely change. It can shift your mind, but you have to make sure it's a positive outcome and not nothing negative. If you're letting it come in between your money, what are you doing? You can't scam forever. What, you going to be 60 selling drugs, scamming, you know, trying to boost on people? You have to think ahead. You have to think forward. And I knew that if I did go to be a doctor, probably 20 years from now, I would not be happy in that field. And I probably won't be happy with real estate in 20 years, but at least I know that I did what I wanted to do, and I can work from that. I have that foundation already set for me as being a real estate agent or just being a business person. So I could take that and expand it. I could build companies. I could give companies. I could build homes, give away homes. It's just what I wanted in that moment. So I was like, I'm going to be a real estate agent.
Okay.
And nobody could tell me nothing, not even my mama. Not even my mama. So that also factored into me not wanting to go to college.
Yeah.
Because when I was listening to them, they was like, you can go to college if you want to, but it's not necessary to have a college degree for real estate. And another thing that factored was money. I knew I wasn't financially stable. I didn't want to put myself into debt. So I was like, if I do go to college, it's going to be on my terms. It's going to be when I have the money for that. I don't want to depend on, financial aid. I'm not knocking anybody who does, but that's just not what I want. I didn't want to depend on FAFSA or, trying to get all of my affairs in order. So I was just like, real estate is what I want.
But it sounded like school was free though, right? I don't know, was it still free for you?
I wasn't sure if it was still free for me.
Okay.
But it was just like, regardless of it being free, I probably, once I had that real estate, like I'm going to be a real estate agent, school was out of it. School wasn't even in it no more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you for that answer. So, I mean, we kind of talked about, students and everything like that, but I had found some other research and it just said like hundreds of thousands of public school students nationwide left the education system during the pandemic. So it's just really fascinating because I think about my generation. We wanted to go to college, we wanted to be there. And like now students are not going. And not to say that you have to have like this better life because you go to college. I mean, we've seen successful people not go. Diddy, Bill Gates, all of those people. But to go by the droves of like so many students not going, I'm still here like questioning. So it sounds like social media influenced some things. I'm happy that it positively influenced you because some people are going in the other direction. So have you seen that among like your friend groups or other students where social media influenced them to do like the negative stuff?
Yes.
How so?
Yes. As far as
Like scamming?
scamming, yeah. I got some friends who scam. I got some friends who be like, all cashiers tap in. You might lose your job, but you get $1,500. It's by the end of the night. So it's like it was either that or it's like the vaping, the smoking, the drugs, the just not being in your element. It was more so of I'm here to show you how your life could be if you just listen to me. instead of how you want your life to be. Don't listen to yourself, listen to me, and you don't even know me. It was more so of that. So like a lot of my friends start doing drugs, start smoking, start vaping, start drinking. I got friends who drink and drive right now. It's
Wow.
like, I'm not getting
definitely
on the couch.
under 21.
Definitely. And then, like I said, like I get y'all want to have fun, but it's a time and a place. If you're going to drink and be safe.
Like how? Like,
Like-
how did they get there?
So it was okay. So one day,
You ain't gotta tell me. we
like,
don't need to
but like,
incriminate them.
it's just so easy for people to get what they want. Like I walked into a gas station because I was with one of my friends. She was getting gas, and we were just leaving school. And one of my friends wanted to vape, and he didn't even ask for ID. You're supposed to. He was like, "Oh, you got the money for it? Okay, fine." So it's like, as long as you got what they want, you will get what you need, regardless of what the law says or not. So yeah, definitely social media affected a lot.
What about the people that maybe you are talking to? Have you seen a negative impact?
Some of them. It's like, how did y'all go from wanting to be a teacher to scamming? It was confusing. It was like, okay, well, this is the career path you chose, is scamming? Wow. All right, well, that's on you. But I think people just like, they started to settle. Like, y'all say y'all want to be better than y'all parents, and y'all want to be better than the people around y'all, and y'all don't do nothing. You lay in the bed all day. You sleep all day. You do what your parents are doing, and you say you don't want to be like them. So it was like, what do you?
They don't
What you
even
gotta
be
do?
having cars or jobs.
No cars, no jobs. It's like, where's your motivation to get the money you seeing on Instagram or you seeing on TikTok?
Yeah.
Besides scamming, it's
Wow. So are you guys like still friends with these type of people?
Yeah. Like,
I mean, because to me, you know, you guys are positive examples. Are they?
no.
I separate myself from my friends. Though.
Yeah.
Like people like to say, well, if your friend doing that, you telling me not? No, I'm not actually. No, I have 2 jobs. First of all,
Hey.
I had a car since I was 16. I pay for my car now. I pay for my own gas. I help my mom. It's just like, just because my friends do it, don't mean I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I thrive to separate myself from my friends. I love them, I do, but don't put me in that category with them because I'm not. I'm not in that. I'm way up here and they way down here.
Yeah.
110%. 110%. And like I said, I love my friends, but don't put me in that category where you have people saying when they see me, oh, she do that, she do this, because I don't.
Yeah. I think with my friends, they more so, like, now that the pandemic is over, it's been over for a little while, it's like they always want me to go out. It's like, I'm going to lay in bed.
So you are still choosing
to stay at home.
to stay at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like,
And
when
is
we
it
get out-
just? It's not like a safety issue. It's just you don't want
It's just
to.
like, as soon as I get off work, as soon as I get in my car, as soon as I go home, I don't want to do nothing else. That's it. That's all you get from me is a text message.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk in person.
Like, and then going off of that, like, I love my friends, but unless I want to see you, you're not seeing me.
Exactly.
Like, if I'm taking out the time of my day and my schedule to be like, hey, let's hang out, I expect us to just hang out. Like, it don't have to be that day or tomorrow, but I expect us to make plans. But if you texting me, hey, let's no.
Why is it okay for you but not okay for them? What if they
Because,
the stuff they want to do is not.
Yeah. Like,
What
you
I
can
would
do
do.
that with your friends. Like I
Yeah.
said, I would never judge my friends because if you call me, you need me, I'm there. But what you do with your friends is not what I want to do with you. I want us to go to the movies.
Yeah.
I want us to have a picnic and paint. I want us to eat cheese and drink wine. Like, I want that type of thing.
Oh, so we got a drinker here. I don't even know. Like
I want that. Like, I want that type of
this is
presence.
sparkling wine, right?
Yeah, like, you know,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that's alcohol, yeah. But like, you know when you see on social media, like they're at the park and they have the wine and cheese and the grapes and crackers.
Yeah.
Like, I would want that. I don't want to go to a party. I don't want to drink. I don't want to do a hot box. I don't want none of that. Like, I just,
It's like, I think people got, like, when you got a group of friends, you got a different friendship with each of those people.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got this person you want to do this with, this person you want to do this person. I'm not that person you want to do that stuff with.
So pandemic has allowed you to really evaluate your friendships. You think
Yeah,
so?
like I wouldn't, just because my priorities are different than my friends, I'm not gonna stop being friends with you just because of that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, unless you are down in the gutter, I'm not gonna let your life decisions stop me from seeing you how I want to see you, because I know deep down you're an amazing person who's gonna do great things. So I don't try to let that stop my friendships at all. Like, if you drink and smoke,
kudos.
you could do that, but just don't do it with me.
I feel you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So has the friendship, doesn't sound like you were more introverted. But that's okay, because I completely get it. I have like one best friend, so that's about it. So I get it. But I do like to socialize with different people. Where am I going with this question? So have the friend groups, has your friendships declined, like the number of friends maybe that you've had?
Yes.
Or is it just how you interact with them? Is it just different, or has the friendships declined?
They decline
Yeah.
for me.
The friends decline. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's like I only got like 3.
They start becoming too sensitive.
Yeah. Like, what you mean you want to drink with me? Like,
Oh, okay. Dang.
I hope I didn't word that. But yeah, they started to become too sensitive when it came to a lot of things. Like social media. Like, I just got Instagram. I don't take what you take to heart, how you take, like, what I do is what I do. Like, you shouldn't take to heart what I'm doing on my social media. And I didn't realize that social media really affected friendships. Like, you're going to stop being friends with me because of who I follow.
yeah,
Really?
like they'll post, like you'll post something and they'll be like, "Is you talking about me?" Like,
Yeah,
if
like,
you're reading it and if you feel like I'm talking about you, then I'm talking about you. There's no other way around it.
So it sounds like the social skills, right? Because
Yeah.
you guys really didn't have that connection where we're face to face, and I
Yeah.
know like her verbal,
I know
nonverbal,
how she
she's
is in
upset.
person.
But
Yeah.
now I have to read it through social media and through
Yeah.
text. I'm
Yeah.
coming up with an attitude,
Yeah.
and it may not be that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
yeah.
I talk with punctuations in my text. And I text
Right.
with periods. And they'll be like, oh, so you mad?
Like, why you yelling at me? Like, it's just a
Yeah, like, it's just like, I'm like, okay. Like, okay. And they're like, okay. Like, I'm not mad at you. It's the simple fact that I just like to express myself in text messages. So, like, one of my friends thought I was mad at him because I used the period. And I'm like, I use periods for everything. Like,
I mean, but
like
that's
we like that in school.
yeah,
Pandemic, though. It sounds
yeah,
like
like-
pandemic did that, right?
like, somebody told me I talk too proper. Like, if I was a white person, I'm like, okay. Like y'all say thank. Like, if I'm being funny, okay, yeah, maybe. But I don't want to text somebody who's spelling you, Y-O-U, as in you and you. Like, I don't want that. Like, what does that mean? Use your words.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, so like I talk as a white person because I actually pronounce my words.
It's not white.
Yeah.
You talk
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah.
It's proper.
It's proper.
Yeah,
It's
that's
very
it.
proper, and they
Yeah,
think
so
that
you
it's
can't
not.
use everything you text, like when you shorten what you doing. You can't use that in person.
Yeah.
Like, you can't WID me and
Yeah,
put it in front of
question
my
mark.
face.
So let me ask you, since they are assuming that you guys are upset through text, do y'all call like, hey, look, this
No.
is not.
No.
Okay.
It's never that.
I don't really like calling people. Like,
Yeah.
don't call me unless it's
Yeah.
an emergency. And so, like
if you're
So
stranded
how do you
somewhere,
clear it up with your
like
friends?
if they text me, they be like, "Are you mad at me?" No, with a period. Okay. So you are mad? No, this is how I talk. Like, that's just how I text. So, like, it won't be until like after the 5th phone call. Okay, yes. Oh, so you're not mad? No, and I tried to explain that 5 times. Like, I'm not mad. That's just how I text. So it's to the point I just like take it how you want it. But like I feel like my friends, they know me so well that they could actually tell if I'm actually mad at them in text.
Okay.
Or if like my mood shifted from the way I'm texting, because I'll be more dry than like, what you do today? Nothing. And I had this whole itinerary, like, so like it just depends, honestly, on that friendship and how well they know you.
Okay. Well, it sounds like a lot has changed with pandemic. I guess I'm a little nervous though, as to how this is gonna look in the next like 10 years, given the fact that you guys already aged in your brain 3 years. So I want to know like how it's gonna look in the next 5 to 10 years, especially emotionally. Like, how are you guys relationship-wise? And we can end it off relationship, but just relationship-wise, has that affected you? Did you like going to high school thinking like, I want to have a boyfriend?
Oh, that.
Like, you know, like, because you lost those social skills for what, 2 to 3 years?
Not those ones. We didn't lose those ones. We lost the friendship ones, but those ones when
You don't think you don't think it affected it?
We was talking on the phone.
I can't come see you, but what you doing?
We went to school with each other on the phone. So it's like, we get on a Zoom meeting, you on my phone.
Yeah. I know what I want when I'm looking for a relationship. So, like, I give guys, I'm 17. Of course, I'm going to be interested in guys.
Yeah.
Like, I give guys a chance. But, like, the moment you slip up, you're gone.
Okay.
And
I
don't
think
care.
that was my problem. I gave too many chances.
No, seriously, like, I know what I want. Like, I don't expect everybody to have the same goals as me. I don't expect everybody to have everything that I have, but like you can have some decency. Yeah. You can have respect. You can have good communication skills. Like I'm not saying
you think they'll still have that, even though what they've gone through in these past 2 to 3 years.
They never had it.
I expect you to grow, like how you just said with the statistics that we grew 3 years. I expect you to learn something while being in isolation. Like what did you learn?
Yeah.
You know, you're the same person I met 4 years ago. Why aren't you changing? Like, I'm actually, if you could get a conversation out of me, that is freaking awesome. So if I'm giving you the platform to be in my presence, I expect you to know something. Like, I don't want to hear I don't know what I want to be. I don't know what I want to do. I don't want that. Get a job.
But that's the real thing, though. Because, it sounds, like what you were saying. Some people just want to sit at home. And maybe they don't have that motivation and drive right now.
And I feel like,
like when the pandemic hit, it was like, they don't want to do nothing.
Yeah. I feel like parents take a lot into that too because the only reason why I got a job right now is because my mama bust up in my room on a Saturday morning. It was like, go to Jet's Pizza and get an application. Go to Tropical Smoothie and get an application.
So they need to have better parents, is what it sounds like.
Well, it's kind of too late. It's kind of too late.
Yeah, like, that's the only reason why I have a job because I always had in my mind, my whole high school career, I don't want to drive. I don't want to work. I don't want to drive. I didn't want my license. My mama signed me up for driver's training. I'm this way because of my mom. So yes, parents factor into a lot of things that we do. And like the only reason, like I said, I have a job is because of my mom. The only reason I have my license is because of my mom. Yeah. And so when I meet people, it's like, dang. And once I had it, I wanted it for myself even more. So I got another job. I was working 2 jobs in high school. And then the other one was better, so I quit that one. And now I have 2 jobs right now. So it's just like, you should want something more for yourself. And
But you just said you didn't want those things, and your mom came in and did that influence.
Yeah,
your parents did too. So
my grandma, I didn't want my license either. I expected my grandma to drive me around for my life. But seriously. She was like, just walking around the park. She was like, "Oh yeah, you start driver's training tomorrow." I was like, "I didn't even know that. Like, you signed me up 2 weeks ago. What you mean I start tomorrow?"
But we had nothing to do, so it was like it wasn't affecting your schedule because we had nothing else to do.
But I knew I wanted to get a job when I was 13. And then it was like, when the pandemic hit, it was like, I don't want to work. I was working, but it was like, I don't want to work no more. My grandma was like, well, I don't know how you're going to have your phone paid. So I was like, let me get back to work.
So that phone was motivation.
That phone motivated me. I had it during the pandemic. I needed it after.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. So it sounds like we need better parents out there. We need some parents that's motivating your kids. You got to get off your butts, get out the bed, go to work. Because it sounds like the parents really helped and pushed y'all and gave y'all a little bit of drive. So shout out to moms out there.
Yeah.
Black moms. Black moms matter.
Yeah. Black moms, definitely.
Yeah. Well, that concludes what I have to talk about in this discussion. But is there anything else that y'all want to add? Any advice for the next generation that's coming up behind y'all?
Don't get a man.
Don't get a man.
Don't get a man.
No. Actually, I do have something. Like, I have a quote in my phone. I'm not sure if this is professional, but it says, we should not be responsible for other people's triggers. And I was watching a podcast prior, and it was just like, it was about being comfortable with your roommates. Like, her boyfriend was over, and she was comfortable in her own home, and her roommate was like, can you cover up? So she did. And then she realized, why am I, I don't think he looked at me like that. I hope he wouldn't look at me like that. Why do I have to cover up in my home for you? or as far as, you know, well, that's a different conversation.
Another conversation
But
for a
yeah,
different
we
day.
shouldn't be responsible for other people's triggers. I feel like don't let people spread their insecurities onto you. Don't let people change the way that you look at yourself, that you think about yourself, how you want to be when you grow up. Yeah. Don't let broken relationships in your family determine how you will be in a relationship in your future. Because like from personal experience, I don't want a relationship because of personal experience. What I see with the women in my life, like what happened with them. So, but like my aunt told me, you know, don't let what I got going on stop you from what you
Don't let other
want.
people trigger us.
You know, and then, yeah. So like, you know, don't stop yourself from being loved or having that loved one and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's how I feel like seeing so many failed marriages in our family. It was like, I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
This is a waste of time. I'm just gonna divorce you, or you gonna
yeah, really, no, seriously,
or you gonna divorce me.
No.
So
I
yeah,
just feel like as soon as I get married, one wrong move, get them papers out. I'm already having
no.
like
prepared.
I just like give love a chance, no matter
Yeah.
if it's
Give it a
actual
chance.
relationship, friendships, you know, relationship with your cousin or siblings. Give it a chance.
Give it a
Yeah,
chance.
because
you
I
never
feel like I
know.
grew a lot closer with my cousins during the pandemic, and now that we older, I feel
Yeah.
like I got closer. We talk every day.
Yeah, we go out.
About-
She drive,
yeah.
I drive. Like
Yeah,
we
like we
just
do little stuff. So it's like,
we planning for my 18th birthday right now. Like,
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was another thing like also I know I said my mama pushed me, but don't also let your parents stop you from what you want. Don't let them determine if you're, you know, what you're gonna do when you're older. You don't have to forgive anybody if you don't want to. That's just me. That's how I see it. You don't have to forgive anybody if you don't want to, especially if you gave them chance after chance after chance after chance. Don't forgive nobody if you don't want to. That is completely personal decision. You shouldn't be pressured to forgive anybody. Yeah.
I feel like they had to get a lot off their chest.
Yeah. like I said, we got this is gonna be 2 hours long. We might have to come back. Yeah.
part two.
And talk about relationships and
Yeah.
like relationships in the black family, in the black community
Ooh,
in general.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to bring them back. So if you see them again, just know it's gonna be a different topic: relationships in a black family. That's what we're gonna talk about. But I'm excited that y'all took the time to sit down with me, talk about life after the pandemic. I can't wait to hear, you know, your next 5 to 10 years to see where you're at. You know, whether you decide to get married or go to school or whatever that looks like. But I'm excited for your futures. It sounds like you guys are really doing great things, and I'm proud of you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me.